I was recommended to Penguin about 6 years ago by my financial advisor. He had just finished merging 3 or 4 small funds into one for me. I'd had several jobs over the previous 10 years. I didn't want them all sort of scattered around. I wanted to make my retirement a little easier to manage. So he'd done the consolidation for me and then decided to move abroad. So recommended Penguin to me, and I trusted him. So I went with his recommendation, and I've been very, very pleased that I did so far. When I first came to Penguin, the first thing I told them was I wanted to retire at 60. That had always been a dream of mine. I spent my first few years in a chemical factory and watched a lot of guys working till 65 and then not living long afterwards. So I made it my goal to stop at 60. I made that very clear to the guys here, and they've worked with that in mind. The good news is, with the work that they've done, with the money that I've invested, they've managed to bring that date forward. So it looks like I'll now be retiring 2 years earlier than I expected, and that's a huge bonus, and that's really why I came. What have they done for me? They've, obviously they finished off that consolidation process and made sure it was invested in the right place, but it wasn't as simple as that, because the first thing you do when you get taken on by Penguin is you do a full risk assessment, and they were very thorough in understanding my attitude to risk and how I wanted the funds invested, what risk I was prepared to take, which in my case is very little. And so the funds that they were investing my money in, or the pension funds in, were chosen on that basis. And despite me being averse to risk, they still managed to grow the fund significantly and above my expectations, which is why I'm still here. And why do I continue to use them? It wasn't just a simple case of pension fund investment. What they've proven to me over the last 5 or 6 years I've been here is that they're more than capable of offering advice on all those surrounding issues as well, other financial issues such as power of attorney, trust funds, inheritance planning, tax implications of pension withdrawal, etc., etc. I've just finished setting up a power of attorney for my wife to look after my funds. We've also set up a trust fund based on the advice that Penguin gave us to make sure that the taxman doesn't take it all should the worst thing happen. Looking after the family basically, which is something I would certainly recommend. I'll be perfectly honest, that one of the nice little benefits of that was that I didn't realise that you can actually pay for the documentation from the pension fund, so I didn't have to reach in my pocket, and that was a nice surprise, so I'd certainly recommend that. I'd be happy to recommend Penguin to anybody, because above being just friendly and professional, which you'd hope everybody was, they genuinely focus on what's important to me, what I want and what my family wants, what we want. And so all of the discussions we have, and they're fairly regular, or as regular as I want them to be, are about what we want out of the end of this process, not what's best for Penguin or what's best in terms of investment. It's always what's best for me, and I think that's the best recommendation I could give them.